Hey, how are we all doing? Welcome back to another stream. Thank you for joining me, to those of you that have so far. I'm just pinging in messages into the Discords, telling everyone that we are live. We will then get cracking on. That's in the wrong channel. There we go. Let's get that going live now. And yeah, there we go. That's all sorted. How are we all? Let me get my screen on as we take a look at the market for another day. Got some decent stuff for us to look at today as well. So it should be interesting. My screen should be going on in just a second. There was a bit of a... Can't access your screen. Try capturing a different screen. Hang on. Share screen. There we go. That should be on now, I think. Should it? You guys tell me if you can see my screen or not. Apparently you can't. Hang on. Let me try and fix it. is going on? Try capturing a different screen to see if this continues. So let me try and fix my screen, guys. I do apologize about this. This doesn't normally happen. Hang on. Let me try one more time. I might just have to share my full screen. No. This is incredibly annoying. What a delayed start to the stream. Do make sure in the meantime you drop a like. I'll be back. Let me try and fix it. The browser can't access your screen. Tell you what, hang on. Let me just I will just share my full screen then. I think that might have to be the way. If I just share my full screen. Let me see if it will do it then. Is it share my full screen? There we go. So it's sharing my full screen, right? So it will do that. But why will it not do a live stream? Sorry for the technical delays, everyone. I've got a really good, nice stream plan today as well. And of course, this is typical that this happens. Come on. What is going on? I might just close down Safari. Let me close down Safari instead. No, not doing it, is it? Let me close down Safari. In the meantime, yeah, we've got some really good things to cover today. Let me close down Safari completely. There we go. Get rid of that. Now let's reload Safari, because apparently it's obviously Safari. It's not StreamYard. It is Safari that is causing the issues. So let's see if we can fix that. I've closed it down completely. And we will go over here. Are we on? Please. Please be on. Please be on. If not, we'll just share my full screen and we'll have to get cracking. Oh, it's on. There we go. There we go. Like magic. All it needed was a complete window close and we're on. Thank you for bearing with me, everyone, during that. Honest to God. If it's not one thing, it's another in it. But we've got Nick with the Stonkers. How we doing? Jalapeno, Gongsy, John. Wiz, how we doing? Great to see you, Brucey boy. Yeah, thank you everyone for joining me. Of course, do make sure you drop a like in nice and early. Hope you like the thumbnail today. Put extra effort into that today, I did. So hopefully you like it. And yeah, obviously, where are we? Well, we are literally just consolidating on Bitcoin, aren't we? We're literally just consolidating on Bitcoin. So we did come up yesterday after tagging just below 110k, weren't it, yesterday? Yeah, on that wick. Was it? Yeah, just around down to 110k. And then, of course, we've come up. And then since then, we've basically just been wedged within here, haven't we? As you can see, Stonksy's got it outlined there. Resistance, support with the red and the green. But we've just been wedged inside there. So we just keep ping-ponging up and down between there. And the market's not really doing anything apart from that, is it? However, things did get a nice little push when Bitcoin come up to here earlier this morning. Things did get a nice little push. I know ETH was pushing towards 4,200. We saw some good strength on ETH Bitcoin as well during that time when we had this push up. Some nice strength on that. Of course, then it's just drifted back lower. And again, just kind of matching Bitcoin's pattern of just ranging between two levels, upside and downside. So on that front, we're just kind of stuck, aren't we, until Bitcoin takes direction. And of course, ideally, we want upside direction. Now, if we look on the 1 hour chart, it's still pretty evident. And what I will do is, as well, is go through the CSE newsletter, because I've put some analysis in that today. So maybe we could do that first before anything else. I will get that up now. How are we doing, John? Make sure to backtest your strategy, says CoinTester. I don't know if they're maybe trying to advertise themselves, given that name and what they're saying, it seems like maybe they're trying to advertise themselves. They are not an advertisement by Stonksy, let me tell you. But yeah, as you can see, it's pretty evident in it where we're finding low time frame resistance all in here. Look at all these wicks, just bang, 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 bang. So that's what we're seeing low time frame. So the key areas are for us to firstly get above here, which is being defended, and this is being defended by somebody or something with asks in and around 13.5, and then of course into the area where we approached on Monday and fell off from early Tuesday morning, which is 116k. So then from there, obviously above there, and then it's game time up towards this area is what I'm looking for. But they're the two key things from obviously here on out. Is firstly this low time frame. We need to get above here. As you can see, look at all the wicks in here. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And you could maybe count 7 there as well. All hourly candles coming into this region, firing in and getting absorbed by selling pressure. So that's the key region for Bitcoin in the immediate future. And then, yeah, if we obviously get above there, then the road should be open back towards 116k to test that as well. So that's what we're looking at in the immediate, obviously upside, looking for a decent bounce. And obviously, yeah, we've formed some sort of demand down here. You can see testing the extremity of it, but on the 5 minutes, pretty clear that we're just ranging from there. So that's what we're looking at on Bitcoin. Very simple. Of course, we want to hold down here, but this could be, maybe the conditions for the rest of the week. Perhaps we could just flip flop up and down, ping pong, yo-yo, whatever you want, anywhere within this wider range of 109.5, 110ish up towards 116. So that's what we're looking at on Bitcoin, and it's very straightforward. Obviously, triggers are easy. Looking for more up above here, into here, above here. Okay, let's start looking at 120, 121 from there. And apart from that, like the thumbnail suggests, it is just a waiting game. We are in a waiting game. Now, I do expect the rest of October to still be fruitful, is my expectation anyway. I'm still expecting us to have a good October. Obviously, we're bang halfway through, aren't we, today? So, we've got just over 2 weeks to go for the rest of October. So, yeah, I'm still hopeful that we have a good rest of October leading into a good November. And then, of course, that leads us into Ethereum. Where are we on ETH? Pretty much the same thing, innit? Very similar patterns. However, ETH did actually come back to, if you look on Monday, we come back and approached ETH sell-off zone, which is quite interesting. So you can see, obviously, relative to Bitcoins, this was, the area where, if you look on the Bitcoin chart, this is where the selling began, leading into, the liquidation event. But Bitcoin's still quite a ways away from that. If you have a look, we're still a 8% move on Bitcoin away from there. Well, you look at ETH, and relative to obviously the sell-off zone, we are just 5% away. So there is definitely some strength there in ETH. I don't want to say in altcoins because they got absolutely hammered, didn't they? But there may be some overall, riding strength on altcoins. As you can see, these sell-offs on Bitcoin are taking ETH, and maybe if we look at something like Solana, yeah, you look at ETH, you look at Solana relative to Bitcoin sell-offs. If you have a look, where this is largely towards the lower end of this consolidation, and obviously far below where we topped out on Monday. But if you look at these two, Solana and ETH, their price action has been keeping up well, and it's had a really nice push up from there. So there is definitely some strength there in altcoins. Obviously, BNB, strong for itself, but the same for something like XRP, still holding relatively well over the past day or so. So these larger caps are looking all right. If we have a look at something like Link, that's rolled over a bit more. You can see, can't you? With this consolidation structure here, Link's rolled over the past few hours. So Link's a bit weaker, and we may see that obviously as you drop out your ETH, Sol, BNB, them super large caps going into kind of large to medium. But I do think the conditions are maybe looking there to have a good ETH pump, which obviously may lead into a good Solana pump. I mean, let's go and look on the daily on ETH Bitcoin. We've obviously still got these areas, horizontal, diagonal. We've still got these areas of interest to break, particularly if you look on the 1 month or the weekly. You can see still yet to break the downtrend, still yet to break this area on the horizontal, and still yet to, of course, come up towards the next target, because once we break out of the diagonal, we can bin that off then, and we can start just looking at horizontal targets, which up towards here is my next one that I've had marked out for what seems like an eternity. But that is it, and that's where we're up to. Obviously, we do need to fully break out of horizontal and diagonal, but then from there, we get above there, and that is a nice ride into the next area. So we could gain some nice movement on Bitcoin should we get that. So that's what we're looking at for ETH Bitcoin as well. Do let me know what you think in the chat. What do you think we're going to do on Bitcoin? What do you think we're going to do on ETH? And we'll keep flicking through. But what I will say is, if we go to the hourly chart, there is likely hardly much movement from yesterday. I assume everything mostly probably looks the same. Maybe a little bit different. Obviously, something like TRX is just a complete anomaly in the market, isn't it? But when you look across the overall market, I think, you'll probably see a similar pattern to everything in some way or some shape or form. As you can see, everything is just kind of waiting. Phase of consolidation, waiting for Bitcoin to give the breakout, or at least give, some more upside action. But yeah, kind of copy and paste charts with some slight differences. Maybe some things are a little bit stronger than others. But overall, yeah, we need that breakout on Bitcoin. And it should lead, hopefully, to some good times, yeah. Now, privacy coins are getting another push up. As you can see, ZEC is up to, we can get rid of some of these lines. ZEC is up almost 9% on the day, which is obviously leading to XMR up almost 4%, and Zen up 3.5%. Dash doing very well too. That is 12%. Now, I don't actually know if, I can't remember, because this is such an old coin. It's a proper dino coin. I can't actually remember if this is even a privacy coin, but it seems to be trading alongside ZEC, XR, XMR, and any other privacy coins like Zen. It seems to be following them. So I don't know if it's following them just because it's a dino coin, or if it's following them because it is a privacy coin. If someone in the chat can let me know, is Dash a privacy coin? But it seems to be following them, so it's in the same pattern. So I bundled it together with them anyway. I can't remember. Yes, SMFC, how are we doing? CoAI and BAS has been sending for a couple of days. CoAI has been on a mental run on it. It's really took over from MYX. That. Can you take a look at data? Yes, I can, George. Could be a nice short. On what? On CoAI. I'm very hesitant to kind of try and short them heavily manipulated ones. Very cautious. Damn, CoAI over $20 again. Yeah, it's an OG privacy coin. I thought it was. Yeah. This, I mean, when you look on the weekly as well, everything's had a good rally. ZEC is an outlier in this, because ZEC is basically on the last legs towards all-time high in it. It's completely just blew through every single level within like 3 or 4 weeks. And it's basically the only thing that separates here, if you can see, is 1 weekly candle, 2 weekly candle to the downside. There is probably, let's go and have a look on how many actual days is in that. Which is the crazy part in it. So you can see, obviously, when we go to the daily, we have this little peak here in November 2021, and then of course earlier in that year this created, but there's not really much at all when you look at it. You know, this is obviously going to be the bulk of probably where supply next comes in, up towards 325-ish. But then apart from that, you've just got 1 wick. You know, as soon as we start getting above where these dailies closed, you've just got thin air, then this wick, and then bang, it's just into price discovery. So yeah, things getting really interesting for ZEC. And of course, when profits start being taken out of that, maybe we see the others pump harder than they are at the moment. But yeah, that's looking great. Obviously, XMR, it's weird with this one because this one already had kind of its face melting run, didn't it, in like April into May. This one kind of just ran on its own and done a 2x like very quickly. But it did come back, as we've mentioned on stream before, for a good SR test there. And yeah, the bulk of the work for XMR is this push up now. So as you can see, we look obviously trending up again on the weekly, but all the work really is it getting back up to this point and getting above, because like ZEC, you know, above here, there's just maybe a couple of days of price action and that's it. Everything else is just thinner. So that's the hard part for XMR. Zen. Now, what I did want to cover was obviously things like Zen, Dash, and this just applies to any altcoin, not just any privacy one, but just any altcoin in general. But while these have maybe done a couple of X from the bottom, if you look at the weekly, they're really yet to even get going. As you can see, they're really yet to do what ZEC and XMR have done and start obviously pushing out of this accumulation range and towards historical levels. So if you look at you're same for Dash, yeah, it's done a great 2.5x ish, 2x, 2.5x from the bottom. But on a weekly chart, it's really yet to even get going. The fun begins obviously when this gets above, and it depends where you map it out, but above kind of 60ish. Obviously, maybe some here, but then from there you start then looking at areas like 140, 160, 200 plus. So yeah, definitely something to keep an eye on. And capital rotation. Once ZEC starts to cool off, maybe money funneling into the others. But then the thing to try and get ahead of, and it's obviously a lot easier said than done, is where does that money rotate into next? Obviously out of privacy coins, but into where? Where is it going to go next? Does it go back into memes? Does it go AI? Does it go wherever? Pretty sure Dash used to be like 2k. It probably hit some crazy levels in 2017. Let's see. Where is coin market cap? Let's see Dash. Let's go and have a look. All-time high, yeah, you are right. You are right, Coding. All-time high was 1,642, which came in. It's weird with this because coin market cap has the all-time high as 1,642 there 8 years ago, December 20th, 2017. But then when you actually go on here, it doesn't actually show it as that, like, unless that's just not toggling up. They say, yeah, if we go to the very peak there, that says 1441. Maybe I don't know what the discrepancy is, but yeah, it's around about 1,500-ish. So yeah, crazy. It's a crazy time, innit? So that is that. Bitcoin is falling down again. There's just no strength in it, is there? There's just no strength in it at all. Afternoon Discipline, how are we doing? Great to see you, mate. If you haven't already, please do drop a like. Scroll down, hit that like button. Hit that like button. What's on the menu today, Dave? Yeah, I've got some good stuff for us to look at today. Done a little kind of agenda sheet. So we'll keep flicking through it. They use TradingView on CoinMarketCap, so prob just the TradingView chart doesn't show it that high. Yeah, well that's probably why, and that's obviously answered the question for me as well. So thank you, Coding. I didn't know that, but yeah, that's good to know. So obviously we have covered that. One thing I do want to cover is this kind of rise in tensions. Now, let me know your thoughts in the chat on what you think about this. But obviously, following the events of Friday, I think there is basically like a manhunt out now for Binance and CZ. Now, whether you think that's a good or bad thing is obviously up to yourself. But since then, we've obviously had basically all the industry in terms of just investors and people on, Twitter and stuff blaming Binance for what happened, and saying obviously allegedly they done some fiddling, obviously purely alleged. So you've had that. You've also had obviously CZ's replies, I don't know if they still are, but basically just people just calling him like a scammer and a liquidator and stuff like that. But the main thing is, the other day we had Galaxy come out. So let me get all these up for you. So you may not have seen these. So Galaxy come out and basically gave a run through on obviously Friday's liquidation event, and as you can see, but blah blah blah, forcing an unwind of leverage. However, they go on to say, and it's pretty important really that we cover this. Have they removed it? Maybe have they removed it? I think they've removed it. I'm just trying to skim through it really quickly to see. Yeah, so that's actually quite interesting. They've actually gone and amended on what they said first. Now, obviously, you can see here, they've posted a clarification saying that they've amended it and changed it. Now, what they say here is also deleveraging on several major exchanges accelerated the sell-off. What this said the first time round was a offshore exchange. So obviously saying it's not a US exchange. And obviously with the things that were circling around Binance and everything at the time, basically, without officially, in my eyes, pointed the finger at Binance. So that obviously came from the official Galaxy account as well, giving a rundown of what happened. But it's interesting to see that they've amended it because, at the time, it specifically said, where you can see here, it says several major exchanges accelerated the sell-off. It specifically said a offshore exchange, not offshore exchanges or not several major exchanges. It said a offshore exchange. So I believe, obviously, in my eyes, they were pointing the finger at Binance, saying Binance caused this. Now, obviously, if we go to CZ, they've been taking flack for that. They've been offering some sort of like refunds and payouts, haven't they, to users and giving them some money and things. Then the next thing, obviously, that's come out is the whole listing fee discussion and kind of finger pointing. What did they say? They removed order books. They didn't specifically say that. They basically said there was kind of, I'm trying to think of the right word to phrase it and what they actually said. I can't remember the phrasing around what they said, but they specifically said a offshore exchange, which basically, obviously offshore of the US, basically saying a offshore exchange was responsible for it. They directly pointed the finger at one exchange, which I've not heard anyone accuse Bybit or any other exchange. I've only seen so far people accuse Binance of it. So in my eyes, there was allegedly pointing the finger at Binance. look for a screenshot. Since BNB said they will compensate the users, people will naturally turn the blame to them. Well, to be fair, I mean, they've also, Binance internal price oracles, they've also been fiddling with the charts now. I don't know if you've seen that or not, but Binance were, say, the Atom chart obviously went to zero. I documented it on a YouTube short. It literally went to zero. They've actually been changing it. So, like, on the Binance chart now, Atom supposedly only went down to like 140, not zero. Bit strange. But anyway, obviously, you've then had a bit of beef now between Coinbase and Binance. There's a bit of beef brewing between Coinbase and Binance. So this guy, I have no idea who he is, basically has released, I think, what he was demanded, or what someone at Binance basically said, we can list your coin for this. I believe, anyway. I think that this is what it is. I think this is where this whole listing fee debacle has come from as well. So basically, obviously, you can read through it here, what supposedly Binance has demanded from this guy, or some information he's got anyway, to list. And obviously it's quite a large amount of money. And then basically said, offer Coinbase, build something. Which Coinbase definitely isn't innocent in that, because Coinbase seems like it's got its own agendas as well. But there seems to be something brewing, because obviously this guy who works at Base, but I can't remember if this guy was also at Coinbase or not. I can't remember, but obviously strongly affiliated to Base, said it should cost 0% to be listed on an exchange. Then you've obviously had this guy come back and say, why don't you list BNB then? Because obviously, if you didn't know, Coinbase actually doesn't have BNB listed. It's very weird. It doesn't have BNB listed. Even though BNB is like, what, the third highest crypto by market cap, or fourth, it doesn't have it listed on its exchange, which is very strange from Coinbase. So he's come back and said that. And then CZ's just wrote a big, massive thing basically about listing fees and listing fees on Binance. But in my eyes, he's basically hopped over the issue, because he's basically saying, you know, if your project is strong, exchanges will race to list your coin. If you have to beg exchanges to list, you need to ask yourself why and stuff like that. But is kind of not addressing the issue of that was like an insane thing to demand from someone to list a coin. Like, yeah. Anyway, so then that happened. So that was basically obviously hitting back at Coinbase. But it's funny, because what he actually says here is about this, about being good at, you know, good projects. If your project's strong, exchanges will race to list your coin. Binance hasn't listed Hyperliquid. So yeah, Binance hasn't listed Hyperliquid, which is obviously kind of like a direct what do you call it, hypocritical point in it. Is saying, you know, if your project's strong, exchange will race to list your coin. But why have you not listed Hyperliquid then? Because obviously, you know, that is probably the one coin that has kept its narrative the whole year. So yeah, very strange. So we'll keep an eye on that. Yeah, definitely CZ and Binance just taking a lot of heat at the moment. You can see this person has received $4,593 in the form of 3.75 BNB. After making some bad trades. Now, I've got a bit of. I kind of don't like the way that they've done that. So obviously, for everyone that doesn't know, obviously BNB come out and said, you know, we're going to allocate 44 million to BNB chain users, Binance Smart Chain users who lost money in the, like, you know, the big meme coin trading that went on last week or week before, whenever it was. I mean, it leaves a bit of a sour taste in your mouth, doesn't it? Because I traded on BNB and now I get nothing just because I didn't lose money. So yeah. Anyway, we'll carry on. Did you see the Coinbase employee comment on Binance statement? No. Sounds like your tin hat is on here, mate. Not tin hat. I think I've just covered what happened. I've just covered what happened. I've not I've not really said much apart from like factual things. I don't think anyway. What's so tin hat? What's so tin hat about all that? No, I haven't seen this. A Coinbase employee. There seems to be some beef brewing now between Coinbase and Binance. Maybe we're going back to the FTX days. Imagine how much they've made from 100. Well, this is it, isn't it? All these like shitty little meme coins that they've listed. CZ's going to end up getting arrested again. No, I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't think he will. Problem is, no, I just can't see it, because what could you arrest CZ for that you couldn't then point the finger at, say, like Trump for? Do you know what I mean? I don't know. I can't see that. Do I prefer Sui or Say? Sui. Is the answer to that. I remember a YouTuber called Chico Crypto used to make videos about Binance and CZ about how corrupt / shady they are. You better be careful. Binance might come for you. Mate, if Binance come for me / Stonksy, it's only a good thing, because that will put us on a massive platform. So please do come after us. Please do come after us, because that would be amazing for Stonksy. I mean, can you imagine the viewership and the attention that we gain if that happened? So, said, do you really want courts looking at your listing process? Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, it's a bit wild, isn't it? But I think this is something that we've knew for ages, isn't it? It's something that we've knew for ages, is that, exchanges. And to be fair, obviously the heat is on Binance at the moment, but do you think really Bybit's demands will be any different? KuCoin, OKX, whatever. Like, their listing demands for coins where they aren't actively going out and saying, hi, we want to list your coin because you're doing insane volume on chain or whatever. But, go into them and saying, can you list us? Probably like, maybe very similar. I don't know for a fact or not, but I would assume obviously they charge as well. Well, you can know for a fact that they do. I don't know what they charge, but I know for a fact you just couldn't go to Ban and say, can you list us? Oh, yeah, we'll do it for free. Yeah, no worries. It'll put on a platform. You might go missing. Yeah. Sui, George. Sui. CZ. Dave needs a rap battle with CZ on the Stonksy stream if they come through. To be fair, I've not actually said anything against Binance or CZ, really. All I've said is the facts. That's all I've been saying, is exactly what has been going on. I've just detailed exactly what has happened between, obviously, this whole liquidation event and what Binance's response to it has been. And then, obviously, what other people are saying with CZ hitting back at them. I've not actually personally said anything. I've just been covering the news. But it is interesting. I mean, the one thing I will say is that this is complete bollocks, isn't it? That's the one thing I probably would say in this whole statement, in which obviously they're trying to justify that listing cost that they gave to someone. This is complete bollocks, because why have you not listed Hyperliquid then? That's what I would say. And in turn, obviously over to Coinbase as well. Coinbase trying to take the higher ground. Why have you not listed BNB? What is like what's the issue with listing BNB when it's one of the largest cryptos? Why would you not list that? But also, why is Binance not listed Hype? If that's the case, if you only after strong projects and you're after the best projects and the ones that perform in the well, you can't really find a best one in Hype, can you? So why is that not listed? Exchanges are all in it together. Coordinated dump, all the drama and sympathy refunds are all covered up to distract. But it's definitely trying to be positive PR, isn't it? That's for certain. It's definite trying to be positive PR, because while you're giving a couple of 100 million away to users, what was the total revenue and income from that dump? Definitely into the billions. So you're giving away maybe like a fifth, a tenth, a 20th of what you actually made. Yeah, well done. What do you think Sui could get to looking at the chart? We'll cover Sui now. I'll move on to Sui now. We've got that. Dave is a Coinbase fanboy. No, not really. Actually, not really. I like them because they kind of leave me alone. That's why. That's why I like Coinbase, for the simple fact of that they leave me alone. They pissed me off when I did that USDT on Sol thing. The fact that I've got USDT on Sol sat in the same wallet address as USDC, but they say, oh no, sorry, we don't do USDT on Sol, so we can't help you. Well, it's literally in that wallet, so why not? Like, why can someone not just go into that wallet and sort it out or whatever, or sort it out, considering it's in the same wallet as the USDC? It's just obviously USDT on Sol isn't supported, so that really pissed me off. But they just leave me alone. You know, I signed up to them 5 years ago, and they've never once asked for more paperwork, not asked. Obviously, I've had to fill out the surveys and stuff, you know, that they've had to bring in because of UK law and that. But I've never been bothered by them. Never had to redo my proof of funds or anything. Where Swissborg, bloody hell, I've been around the ringer with them. I just had to stop using Swissborg because they just kept peppering me for more and more stuff frequently. I remember in 2022, I sent a couple of ETH into Swissborg, right? They then suddenly turned around and said, oh, to make this deposit, we need like more information off you or more proof of funds or whatever. So then that ETH sat in there for like a couple days as I was trying to get this like approval through on them to like, you know, let me continue using the platform. In the same time, he fell like 10-15%. And I turned around and said, well, who's going to cover, you know, I'm going to have to swallow that cost now because you've frozen my assets. So, and obviously that was a few years ago. You know, that was a few years ago, but they want it again. I cannot deposit anything on Swissborg now because I just refuse to go through it all again because they'll only want it again in 6 months. So, personally, again, that's just a personal opinion. That is not the opinion of, obviously, Stonksy. That's not the opinion of anyone else affiliated with Stonksy, or obviously not the opinion of TMG. That's my personal experience and opinion. Did you sign the petition? What petition? They've been pestering me for ages over that. What petition? I haven't been on the app in ages. Anyway, let's move on. Let's move on, shall we? Bitcoin's been really annoying. Do you know what as well, Wiz? I was looking at that one again this morning. I was looking at that Polymarket to ETH to 5K thing this morning, and I was up nicely on it. That was nearly, I think it was like, yeah, about a 2x. And I didn't close it again because I thought, no, let's wait, because obviously at like 4,400 or 4,500, the odds will be so much better. And bang, it's dumped again. So yeah, we've done that. Obviously, we have the next Fed meeting. So for anyone who doesn't know, 2 weeks today is actually the next Fed meeting. 2 weeks today. So 14 days, 5 hours. So obviously I'll be live for that. So put it in your calendars. I'll be live for that. So put it in your calendars. But as you can see, the expectation for October's meeting is a 97.8% probability that we cut. Well, not we. The Fed cut by 25 basis points. And the actual over, the other one is 2.2 for holding rates. So there's actually a 0% probability that they do more than a 25 basis point cut. So at the moment, the market is saying no chance, absolutely no chance of a 50 basis point cut. Just literally zero is what it's pricing in anyway. So the resounding expectation is we're going to obviously see another cut. Now, the thing is, with this being so heavily probability, again, is it priced in? You know, it was priced in the last time round. We didn't really see much following it. I think Bitcoin literally did nothing, did it? And obviously, with it being priced in, this time round, you would imagine we probably don't see anything again. What would obviously get the market going is something out of left field, which would be something like, you know, a 50 basis point cut. That would, you know, trigger something deep inside the market. I don't know what, but yeah, it would trigger something deep inside. Angry Dave is really entertaining. Thank you very much. They don't like me. I don't like them. Yeah, that's it, innit? I'll leave you alone. You leave me alone. When's the next UK rate decision? God knows. No idea. Would you rather have Sui, H-bar, or Doge? Bloody hell. That's a... Well, I mean, they're different things, aren't they? I know you wanted me to look at... What was it you wanted me to look at? The Say chart. They're just completely different things, aren't they? I mean, Sui, H-bar, and Doge. You kind of separate them. I would rather hold Sui than H-bar. So that's one cancelled out. Because they're both layer ones, aren't they? So I would rather hold Sui than H-bar. And then would I rather hold Sui or Doge? I don't know, to be honest. If you want something, I suppose, I don't know. I don't know. The thing is, I don't really class Doge as a meme coin anymore. It doesn't trade like a meme. It just trades like a large cap. So I don't really class Doge as a meme coin anymore. You could even put it into the category of, you know, a layer one, because obviously, you know, Dogecoin network. I think anyway. Is Dogecoin classed as a layer one? I don't know. Or is it? I don't know. What is like the Dogecoin network actually ran on? Does anyone know? I feel like Dean. I feel like you'd know that. I feel like that's a question that you'd know the answer to. What is the Dogecoin network actually ran on, or is it just ran on its own chain? Anyway, so yeah, I mean, well, you pick Sui or Doge. Well, I don't know. Depends what you're kind of after in it. Anyway, Say did actually come back and test. I think like just complete price discovery to the downside on that dip. But overall, what is the main concern? Well, the main concern is obviously we fell out of this. So this is the main thing we've been looking at, Say, since, you know, basically, you know, mid-July-ish. We formed this range. So obviously resistance up here, as you can see, you know, once, twice, 3, 4, 5 times. Support down here, you know, once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, 6 times. So we just melted through that. Now, what you would say on obviously Sui is that it's came back into a key point, is what I would say. No, sorry, Say, not Sui. So key point on there. So from here, it's just very arrow based, very easy. So obviously from here, you'd be looking for it to trade up to here. So obviously holding down here. If you break down below here, I think in towards, you know, anywhere between Stonksy's got this line drew and kind of 14 cents. You get above here, then obviously you reopen the range. So you would assume range low to range high trading. So from here to here. And then of course above here, you're then looking to come and take out the wick. And then obviously looking towards this line that I've had drew for what feels like all of eternity, 47 cents. So again, just very easily based on Say. I do think that this is a key region for it. And you would obviously want to see it hold. But again, if you break below there, probably come down, test this bit, maybe come and test obviously the April lows for demand down there, anywhere in this kind of region here. If you're building a position, obviously you don't want to see that happen and you want it to trade up to here for an SR test. Again, it may reject from there, may come up to here and it may fall off back down to here, don't know. But ideally you want it to get above and then you're back in this range, and then at some point, God knows when, in the hopefully short but maybe distant future, it breaks above here and comes up to test 47 cents. So that's what I would say on Say. It matters, man. Don't you have a house to complete soon? Yeah. I think we're probably set for completion in like 2 weeks. I don't think it will really matter for mine, though. I don't think really they're doing anything with mortgage rates at the moment, are they? But the problem is that they don't follow, mortgage rates don't follow actual like base interest rates, do they? They do obviously in a sense of it gives, you know, more wiggle room to the downside. But say the Bank of England come out tomorrow and cut rates by 0.5%, that doesn't mean that mortgage rates automatically then be cut by 0.5%. They're just completely different in terms of obviously against the base rate. It does obviously give them room to maybe push them lower, but the speed or the velocity doesn't quite work the same. They're gonna switch to proof of stake, really? Okay. Hello, Marios. How we doing? We opening up or down poll? Yeah, I'll get the poll up in a minute. To be fair, at least Binance didn't offer a KFC meal. Yeah, that's crazy work, isn't it? That's crazy work. Please look at link. Yeah, I can do. 2 weeks is good. Yeah, I should hopefully did have a survey on it done yesterday, and should hopefully get the report back for that by the end of this week. But the guy rang me and basically said there's not like major work that needs doing on it, but there are some things like I think the boiler either needs replacing or needs some work on it. One of the biggest concerns was, I think he said, in the kitchen, the ceiling's like bowing, like bowing downwards. So I don't know whether the ceiling just completely needs like removing and redoing or not. I don't know. But the problem with that is obviously if there's asbestos in there, because it's like an older house. So I think the chances of it having asbestos in the ceiling are probably quite high, which then means you have to get specialist people out. This is the problem, obviously, with doing some renovation work in it and buying an older house, is that you have to deal with stuff like asbestos and that. But yeah, let me get the poll up and we'll look at link. But that's say in a nice little concise way. Oh God, come on. We're on 25 viewers and only 9 likes as well. Didn't realise that. You people that are watching, shame on you. Shame on you. Scroll down, hit the like button. Let's get this towards 20 likes, please. Let's get this towards 20 likes. Right, so that's done. Let's go and look at link, shall we? Let's go and look at link. So, link is currently stuck between levels. Obviously, we had our very nice kind of lower time frame / like consolidation levels in here, which were like providing great trading opportunities. Like the way it moved between these levels was fantastic. Of course, ultimately, we just melted through, didn't we? Now, we're kind of stuck in this region here. As you can see, again, the levels are just doing the work, aren't they? We are stuck in here. Now, what we can do is probably get rid of that one. So we've come down, we've re-entered this range here where Link was trading. So as you can see, like the $20 to $15 region. And as you can see, we come down, obviously blitz down, but then we come up and you can see Monday, Tuesday, we come up, rejected off $20 and then it fell off a bit. So in terms of Link, we're basically just within here again. So it could potentially come down and retest $15.50, or it may hang around and towards the upper side and maybe recapture. But again, from here, it's very simple, I think, very straightforward. You come down here, you obviously want to see a strong reaction. Currently, we're rejecting from there. If we clear here, then we likely move back up towards $22. And then, obviously, this depends if you're looking at it like as a low time frame trade, or if you're looking at it, in terms of a higher time frame trade. Because if it's low time frame, obviously these levels will still be more than fine to use to see how it trades through. So again, in here, this becomes obviously, we come up here, this is resistance, but then, you get above $22, this is then support, this is resistance. So there's your kind of lower time frame range. Same for here, and then same for in here. But again, if you may be trading it on a higher time frame, maybe you're looking for like a bigger move. So, maybe you're buying down here or maybe lower. And then really you're only over it. Your major area of interest from there, if you're doing that, will be obviously like swinging it up towards maybe this one here. And then of course from there, maybe up towards here, or even into the next range of interest, which is up here. So it all depends on, what you're kind of looking out for on Link. But the way that Link trades is super clean, super good. And it just always respects the levels. I don't know whether it's just the fact that it's just such a good level trader, Link, or I just managed to like pinpoint the levels very easily on Link. But the way it trades between levels is just fantastic, I find. As long as the ceiling doesn't have a bow in it, you can get it skim flat. So do not worry about it. So what if it does have a bow in it? What do you do from that point then, Stevo? What do you do from that point? If it has a bow in it, what do you do? Because obviously you know about all this stuff. And also, can you just skim over? Obviously, get someone to plaster and skim over asbestos ceilings and just kind of hide the problem for future generations. What did your vote? I can't vote on there. I'd have to, if I'm going to vote, I have to do it on my phone. I would vote up. Put your finger in it. I'm not doing that. I'm not putting my finger in it. You're joking, aren't you? You've got to be joking. I'm not. I'm certainly not doing that. I'm not going anywhere near it until I know it's asbestos clear. Let's see what the good old Bitty's doing. What's the Bitty doing? Oh. Just ruins the fun times, doesn't it, when it's like this? When it just can't seem to catch a bid. I would vote up though. Yeah, I would vote up. I mean, the thing is, if we go back down, I mean, we could come back into obviously retesting that kind of 110k region, but we don't want. We kind of want to see, you know, some form of strength coming into the price, or at least if it's going to consolidating a good amount away from kind of danger levels. So should we have a little look at the news? But yeah, I'm interested to see what you say, Steve-O. I'm eagerly awaiting your reply. Yes, most plasterers will skim it, no problem. Nice. But what happens if the ceiling has got a bow in it? What do you have to do? Just get it ripped out and then what? Or is it like kind of a big job? Because what causes the bow? Would there be then maybe problems with the flooring upstairs or what? What's kind of the gig with that? Let's have a look at some news anyway. So what have we got? Is there anything actually interesting? Double top for BNB. Set up warns of 30% drop ahead. NFT markets rebound after 1.2 billion wipeout in Friday's crash. Now, tomorrow we will be having the legend SMFC on this stream. Now, every time he comes on, we look at NFTs. So I'm eagerly going to await that. Tomorrow we will be looking at NFTs. So we'll save it for today. Let's see what was heavily impacted. But tomorrow we'll be looking at NFTs. So we'll look at obviously ones on Ethereum, Solana, any others. But this $1.2 billion wipeout in market cap. Maybe that was largely due to maybe ETH falling as well, because obviously a lot of them. I think it would be overall better if NFTs were just priced in stable coins. Like obviously instead of being priced in Ethereum and Solana and things, if they were just all priced in stable coins, I do believe it would just be widely better for anyone looking to hold them or just them trading anyway. Because then there's not typically any need for them to go through bear markets and stuff then, is there? Like they will do because of how the market is trading, but you know, maybe less affected. Punks were down 8%. Pudgy Penguins were down minus 21%. Hypers, they're insanely expensive, them hyperliquid NFTs. Moonbirds, I don't actually know all these. Back in like 2022, 2021, I could probably look at NFTs and kind of know exactly what was what and what was the like each project, because I used to be quite into them. But I look at that and obviously that's Squiggles. I have no idea what this is. What are they called now? They were the other ones by Lava Labs. Can't remember what they're called. V Friends, Doodles there. Don't know what that is. Miladies. Yeah, anyway, let's carry on. What else have we got? Oh, something else come. How to read crypto charts in 2025. Interesting. Quantum computers could bring lost Bitcoin back to life. I seen someone mentioning this on Twitter yesterday, and it's maybe a good talking point. Is someone mentioned that in like 5 years, quantum computers may be able to break Bitcoin. I don't know how true that is or what are the chances of it, but yeah, how quantum tech could break Bitcoin wallets. I've always thought this because when you obviously set up like a Phantom or whatever, or even a MetaMask, obviously they're a bit different to older wallets, aren't they? Because like for MetaMask example, you do have a password as well, don't you? Can't remember if you do for Phantom, but maybe for older Bitcoin wallets, it was literally just 12 words or 10 words, whatever, or 20. Some were 24 actually, weren't they? But I did think this, like if you could set something to just like log on to like a Bitcoin wallet provider or whatever, or even just like MetaMask or Phantom or whatever, and just say like input random words into this until you get an unlock. Like how viable is that? I don't know. But yeah, apparently there's a risk to Bitcoin with quantum computing, so we'll watch out for that. Maybe, probably not. I've got Chinese merchant bank tokenizing funds. Coinbase invests in India. Coin DCX at 2.45 billion valuation. Crypto trader turned 3k into 2 million after CZ mentioned a meme coin. There we go. Oh, the meme coin 4. Brilliant. Brilliant. Someone made a couple mil off that. Yeah, look at that. The first wave of order hits. We bought 3k worth of B&B on this. Small stakes swelled to roughly 2 million within hours. That is crazy. Have they still got it as well? The address kept 98% of its portfolio in 4, still around 1.88 million. That is wild, isn't it? So it's actually unrealized then, but that's just crazy. Like, I would love something like that to happen to me one day. I would love it. Tom Lee and Arthur Hayes doubled down on a 10k Ethereum this year. Just send it to 5k in October and I'll be very happy. What is above the ceiling? I don't know. This is just something that come up in the survey. I didn't even notice it. I'm gonna wait to see what it says on the report. Again, he told me like the significant ones, which didn't actually seem that bad. So it might not be a case of anything. I don't know. Don't know why I disagree, but yeah, I suppose maybe it makes them a bit cooler. Maybe it makes them a bit cooler being priced in native assets. I'm trying to condense the coins I hold into 5 as I have 10. And that's too much to keep up with, lol. How many do you hold? Normally just like a handful, yeah. I agree. I have the same issue, being able to keep up. You also kind of like have to spread your conviction, don't you? Like, really, you're going to be like heavily like belief and obviously convicted into 10 coins. I don't know. Where you can easily get like to 5 coins, don't you? The way you think, right, this is it. Afternoon, Delta. How we doing? Great to see you. Won't happen. Quantum-proof cryptography will be developed alongside quantum computing. The tech is good, and both sides will have access to it. So this is my question. Like, I've never really looked into it, and again, you probably know the answer, Dean. But say, obviously, you need to upgrade Bitcoin to quantum-proof cryptography. Like, who does that, and how? Like, how can you like upgrade the Bitcoin network without, like, who like would even have access, or who has the ability to do stuff like this? Like, how do you even get that like into Bitcoin? Is like my question. In the old days of Bitcoin wallets, you could use your own words. Oh, really? That's good. Bitcoin devs make the script, then the nodes push it to the network. And what do they have to do though? Like, what? How did they get it on the network? Like, that's what I mean. Like, who decides who's big? Like, who decides that they're a Bitcoin dev and stuff? I know you have like Bitcoin Core and maybe other companies and stuff, but like, who decides that they're like a Bitcoin dev, and what sort of like approval rate do they have to do for like nodes to push it to the network? QNT is basically a little off what I got it. Is it still good? I have no idea. We'll have to have a look. Does the 5-minute time frame work well? Super well. The 5-minute time frame. I filmed loads and loads of YouTube shorts on that this week actually, because of just how well it's done in catching not only the drop off but also the reversal. Anyone can be a Bitcoin dev. Yeah, I know anyone could be a Bitcoin dev, but like, I assume obviously there are like designated companies maybe that pay people, because you obviously probably need paying to be a Bitcoin. You can't just sit on, I am a Bitcoin dev now. Okay, great. How am I going to pay my bills? Like, I don't know. But yeah, the 5-minute time frame is awesome. I mean, we'll flip through the market as well, but obviously if you just come onto the actual Stonksy Twitter each day, we post just like endless. Like, this is on the 1 hour on silver. This is on what time frame is that? I think that's the 1 hour as well on gold. But you can see there, that's ETH yesterday. Obviously a couple stocks there. That's Bitcoin on the 5 minutes. You can actually, if we just go over to this, obviously we had one that there close around break even. But like, and the thing is, if you are a new user or you're just someone interested in getting involved, if you're specifically looking at the 5 minute too, these are the best types of ones that catch the biggest moves. And I call them double confirmations. I don't know about everyone else, but I've always called them double confirmations. So I think that's kind of caught on as the phrase. But basically, what I look for on the 5 minute is the background color change followed by the bullish confirmation, so the bullish arrow. And typically, I find that this works just absolutely beautifully. Is what I like. Obviously, here we had it come in, but then we obviously just got the crazy rollover in momentum. But there's also something to be said for getting out of a trade when a trade is losing, as you can see here. So Stonksy was actually in the long, and it started to go well, from obviously point of entry on the background or even on here. But then obviously it just started slipping, didn't it? Very aggressively, Bitcoin. But there's actually something to be said for knowing when momentum is against you and knowing obviously when a trade is losing. And then as you can see, obviously closing out that green one for a loss, but then getting into the red. Because obviously some people, maybe obviously if they're just purely manual traders, they may just carry on holding this into a loss and obviously just get absolutely obliterated. So yeah, there's something to be said for that. That wasn't actually even the biggest one, was it? The biggest one, as you can see, the bounce caught from the drop. Again, double confirmation. Green background, green arrow, massive expansion. And then ultimately, the big nasty one last week. But yeah, I mean, you can flick through any of these. If we go into the ETH chart, very much the same. As you can see, double confirmation coming there. We actually haven't had, I don't think. Oh yeah. So again, a bit of indecisiveness in the market at the moment, but yeah, I love the 5 minute chart. We are slipping down on Bitcoin though. We are slipping down. You got to get the nodes running, your software consensus. They go through Bitcoin improvement proposals when they get accepted. Right, okay. 51% of nodes. Sounds to me like you should read the What is Bitcoin course on CSE. I did read it, but this was like, I think a couple years ago. Plus, I have you to ask. One of the ETFs gives some of their profits to Bitcoin devs. Yeah, I think that's which one is that now? Is that Van Eck or I can't remember. Do you lose anything when you reverse trade and open trade on BLOFIN? If you're in a loss, yes. If you're in a loss. Basically, all a reverse means is it closes the position that's open and then opens a position in the opposite direction. So for instance, say you was in a Bitcoin short from up here and now you think it's gonna go back to the upside. If you hit reverse, it will close the Bitcoin short and open one exactly the same. So same margin, same leverage in the opposite direction and flip it long. Now, crucially, it doesn't erase losses. So I think that's sometimes what a lot of people get wrong is if you're in a loss, they hit reverse and they think it will just magically remove the loss. It doesn't do that. If you are in a loss, it will also close the position in a loss and then open a new one in the opposite direction. But yeah, I think sometimes the people think, I'll just reverse, I'll reverse trade it and it will magically make my loss go away. It doesn't. It will still close that position in whatever loss it's in at the time. Can we dive into H-bar chart? Yeah. Hourly chart is rolling over on Bitcoin. Is TMG the best trader in the world? Yes. Is it the Bitwise? I don't know. Maybe it's the Bitwise one. I don't know which one it is. Thank you. Anytime, Scotty, anytime. Yeah, what we'll do is we'll go into some other charts. We'll go into the H-bar one and we'll go into some other ones. There are some other things I want to cover personally as well. I think there's a good argument for just saying maybe we just stick around in here. Maybe we just stick around in here. There's a good argument for that. Annoyingly, yeah, I really wish I would have closed out that Polymarket ETH1 when we was up here and I was looking at it. Annoyed at myself for that, but we carry on. Anyway, I'm just gonna go to the toilet because we do have US Open coming in 15 minutes. If you haven't voted on the poll, get your voting on the poll. We're still only on 12 likes, which is low. Come on, scroll down, hit the like button. It doesn't cost you guys anything. It's completely free to like the stream. If you are new around here, subscribe. And yeah, I'll be back in just a minute. I do need to run to the toilet before we get US Open, so we are undisturbed from that point on. I'll leave you with the Bitcoin 5-minute chart, and then we'll go to H-bar, which was asked, and we'll just carry on with anything else too. Let me just put a little note on here saying back in a few mins. Yeah, don't go anywhere. Grab a drink, go to the toilet yourself, do whatever. Sign up to BLOFIN if you're not signed up to BLOFIN. Links in the description. All that jazz. And yeah, I'll be back in just a minute. Stay tuned. Right, let's do this. I'm back. Oh, let's get rid of that. Yeah, I mean, ideally. Oh, this thing is moving, isn't it? This outright scam. Asta's dropping back down. Asta was looking great up here before. I was buzzing with Asta. I was made up with it and bloody dropped all the way back down. Bitcoin's just cooking us, isn't it? Anyway, so so H bar chart. Someone wanted H bar. Yeah, we can get rid of these now because it's actually, it broke down from here. So thing with H bars, couple things. Obviously, it came in and tested the. I've had this outline since July-ish. So it came in and tested this area. Obviously, it tested lower down, but as we know, that was just a flash, couple of minute thing, doesn't really count. As you can see, the daily closed right on it, and then the day after, we got another test of this region. So that's basically like certified tested now. And the problem for H bar in this area is we're kind of in no man's land, as you can see. If we're using, the recent data, then all we have is this quick build up of daily candles, and that's it, nothing else. So basically, we're just kind of in no man's land in here. So what are we looking for potentially? So again, very simple. Down into here, you obviously want to see a reaction. However, there is maybe the possibility that we come down into the grey. Again, how likely this is doesn't really. It's just a possibility on it on the chart. So they're obviously what you would consider two buy areas. Just areas of interest, area of interest for the price, and obviously demand. So that is two of the downside levels. To the upside, obviously this was support along here. So we are maybe going to get some resistance coming, unless it can, quickly close through it fast. But ideally, obviously, you flip 21 cents back to being support. We then have this descending trend line, which price keeps hitting its head on. And then again, it's just the same plan from that point out. It's just what happens within here. Now, it may just trade within here. Again, probably largely depends on what happens with Bitcoin too. But it may just trade within here. But yeah, there is obviously levels of interest to the downside in here and maybe a bit further down in here. But until it maybe comes down and tests this again, or falls and tests this, or comes up and tests this grey area, it's kind of just stuck wandering around. But yeah, reclaim 21 cents, push up. Obviously, it'll come into contact with the trend line, hopefully break the trend line. If you want to remove the trend line, you can, doesn't really matter. That just obviously opens up this horizontal trading range in here between 21 cents and 25 cents, which is fine. And then, you get above there, you start looking into here, blah, blah, blah. So that's where we're up to with that. And yeah, that is pretty much H bar in a nutshell. Very, very easy, very nice. And just kind of a waiting game like the rest of them. As today's thumbnail suggests, it's a waiting game. But yeah, that's where we're up to anyway with H bar. Let me see what else I have on the agenda. Yeah, something I want to cover is, did you guys know that you can actually trade gold on BLOFIN? So that's currently the Asta trade, which is nicely in profit, but I'm hoping for much, much more on that. I think my take profit on Asta is 2.2. Is what I want to see. It's 2.2 in and around there. If it got to 2.1, I'd probably just manually close it. But yeah, that's what I'm looking for on Asta. But yeah, did you guys know? And I did actually do a video on this. It's the latest video out on the channel. But you can actually trade. You can actually buy spot as well. So obviously, I know someone was asking where to buy gold again. I don't know whether you would actually want to buy it on a crypto exchange or not. But you can actually buy spot gold on BLOFIN. But did you know, and many people don't, and I only learned it when someone told me from on the stream, that you can actually trade gold on BLOFIN using USDT and leverage as well if you want to, all the way up to 50x. But yeah, I didn't know this until a few weeks ago when someone said you can trade gold on BLOFIN. Can you? Oh yeah, you can. There you go. I don't know if they have anything else. I think it may be just this. They don't have silver. I don't know if they have things like Tesla. No, they don't. Do they have the S&P? No. But they got gold, which is a start and quite interesting in it. But yeah, I didn't know this, and it's obviously something worth bringing up because I think trading gold is kind of like a growing interest in it to people because of how gold is trading. I mean, you put it on a daily and it's just literally just one straight line, just unbelievable. And it obviously isn't showing signs of stopping. It hit 423, something like that today. But it's a growing interest to people, wanting to trade gold. But if you didn't know, yeah, you can actually do it on BLOFIN, which is good because you can just use your USDT. Now you can, of course, find link to BLOFIN in the description. I will also whack it in the chat now as well, just in case you want to have a little gander. Let me throw it into the chat. Bada bing, bada boo. There we go. Pin that. I'll pin it as well. We've got 7 minutes to go until US Open. Let me just wait for this to come through so I can pin it right. Let's close this too. So Paul's come a bit more inwards now. Got 59% thinking that we're going to go up. There we go. Pin that. Done. I mean, it would be nice, wouldn't it? It would be nice if we could go up. What's the S&P doing? Oh, see, this thing is just full sending, isn't it? Yeah, this thing is just full send. Well, not full sending, but relative to obviously the price action that we saw on Bitcoin, which is going down. This thing is just full sending, just straight up since yesterday and up today, obviously, in futures. Approaching its points of sell-off while Bitcoin just cooks us. So that's looking good. That's looking juicy. How are the Mag 7 doing? So Nvidia is up to 185 again. Apple is up to 250-ish. Meta, Microsoft. Okay, yeah. They're all just kind of hanging around. Most of them are up. And then we just get absolutely cooked on Bitcoin. God damn it. I saw someone tweet before. Someone tweeted before saying altcoin is alt season is happening now. It's just that they're called stocks and they're on Robinhood. So it's so true, isn't it? So true. What are we looking at next in terms of this? Yeah, I have been messing around a bit more with Polymarket. This was one that I took yesterday. Now, this was crazy. So for anyone that doesn't know, I took this yesterday on Wiz's stream. And I got it at I think I got it at 16%, and I ended up closing it out for just under a 2x, like an 85% P&L gain, which was at I don't know, 30 odd percent. But this thing obviously came in. Now Wiz was in this, and it dropped all the way down, and I think, yeah, it dropped all the way down, and then obviously, yeah, closed out. Yes. Let's see what's going on for today's one. So above 112k has a 33% chance. So this is in 2.5 hours. So that's gone up quite a bit. Where are we? 111.5. Yeah, I'm finding this quite interesting to mess about with every day. Let's have a look at tomorrow's one. So tomorrow, 1 day, 2 hours, 2 hours, 30 minutes. Above 114k might not be a bad one for tomorrow. $114k might not be a bad one. What day is this then? This is coming into Friday, isn't it? This is coming into Friday. Yeah, these are quite interesting for looking at future dates, aren't they? So they got the 18th. I think, is that all that they do? Oh no, they do all the way to the 21st. Let's have a look at that. They do all the way to the 21st. We don't really have much volume on, so yeah. But I have been messing around a bit more with these. Let's see how the Ethereum one's doing. So this is the one I'm still in on Polymarket, is Ethereum to 5k in October. Now, yeah, so it's down to 24%. Before it went up to, what did it go up to? Hang on. This was, yeah, so it went up to 30, so it's not down terribly. It's still up a bit from where I added some more yesterday, but it's not down terribly. But I'm kind of looking for anything 50% and above on that, and I would be more than happy to close it. It's just if it can get there or not. Like I say, I've got 2 weeks anyway until the actual thing closes. GM, BPN, take out early longs, and I'm happy to long. Where are you looking for? Where are you looking to be for longs to be taken out? That is the question, innit? We've got 40 seconds to go until US Open. I mean, we're not too far away. If we go and let's zoom out a bit, let's go to something like the 15-minute chart. I think obviously if you're looking at a 15-minute chart, you know, it's low time frame in it. But I think obviously 111 looks like a good liquidity area from on the way up. Then obviously apart from that, you've got this down here, haven't you, from yesterday? But maybe 111, just above 111, maybe something like this. Obviously not give the full sweep and give people like a prime entry of just sweeping yesterday's low. Maybe something like that. Let's see if that figures out anyway. We're not too far from there. And that's probably what I'd be looking at. Anyway, we're open, so... yeah, let's see. Let's see. Down we go. Well, to be fair, if we get down first, like yesterday, and then up, can't really complain, can you? If we get down first and then we go up throughout the rest of the day, it's fine by me. Yeah, pretty aggressive selling. Pretty aggressive selling. Initially, anyway. Yeah, we'll see how it plays out. Oh, okay. Some nice absorption coming in there. Some nice absorption. Let's look at gold go. So how's the S&P come out? So the S&P did the exact same. Initial drop and then absorption. So Bitcoin, oh yeah, okay. So maybe just kind of front run the sweep of that wick, maybe. Got kind of close. Come on then, show your hand. Show your hand, market. Show your hand. What did pump get up to yesterday? Let's see. Yeah, so it's still actually it's still about 10% up in it, ish, from where it went. Oh, that went up very, very strong yesterday. I was watching that a lot. $109k. Potentially, yeah. Potentially. 109 would be like a full sweep of, was it the weekend? I think, was it? Or was it, when was 109? Yeah, this one from, yeah, Sunday, the Sunday lows. So that was 109,500. So maybe some sort of liquidation whip maybe into there. Other than that, I think maybe don't give the people a chance to get in. Maybe that's one case in it. Is you got two scenarios, haven't you? coming taking out more longs because obviously we'd clear yesterday's lows, clear this wick, then obviously clear the Saturday and Sunday lows out there, and then maybe get people really, really bearish, and then either that or you just obviously don't give the chance for people to get in. Sui just got down arrow sign on 5-minute chart. Them arrows do come in on their own, no. Them arrows coming on their own. Was there a background color change as well? I mean, it's important to obviously look at what Bitcoin's doing as well. Bitcoin dictates the market, didn't it? Yeah, so that has got a downwards arrow coming on it as well. The problem is, in areas of chop, it's always a bit difficult. In areas of chop, like you can see, we're just chopping around. If you zoom out to the 1 hour, we're literally just stuck within chop, aren't we? When we get something a bit more clear, that's when it'll be good to see. You got a drop off? Yeah, no worries. Got the follow-up viewing shortly. Nice. Have a good one. Maybe I was wrong. No, to be fair, you wasn't. You said down we go. We did go down a bit. We did go down initially. For about a minute. We've not got anything too aggressive, have we? Within the first 5 minutes. There's the first 5-minute candle closed, done. It did close green, and we did get some good absorption, to be fair. I mean, really, if we're looking at it, you know, obviously super low time frame, but yeah, we are kind of pressing, aren't we, this area? This kind of, as you can see, Stonksy's got it, the line drew there perfectly. We're pressing this here. If we can get above there, then maybe low time frame, that gives the signal to push back up as we just re-enter this low time frame range that we was trading within. Come on then. There we go. There's the push back up. It seems it's when you go down straight away, it goes up. When it goes up, it goes down. I think they're just like messing with people as well. I think that's what it is. It just leaves everyone guessing, because we did have a period where we just sold off relentlessly. And I mean, just every day US Open opened and it was just down only. Then obviously sometimes you get these where, yeah, you pump and then dump, or you dump and then pump. But this is a nice reaction. As you can see, we've blew past that region now that we were just looking at. That's a strong candle that's forming so far, which is good. Push everything back up, please, and thank you. That would be very much appreciated. Send ETH back up to where it was this morning, and obviously everything else to go with it. Hello, Jeff. How we doing, mate? Great to see you. Glad to be back. I can't remember. Have you been away? I get mixed up, mate. I can't remember. How long have you been away for? I thought you said the stream yesterday. Was you not? Was you not in the stream yesterday? I can't even remember. But we are getting a nice push up now. Yeah, I mean, look at the S&P. Look at the S&P go. This is just relentless, this thing, innit? Very, very nice. So, if you look on the S&P, we are now obviously very steadily and slowly approaching that sell-off point. So it'll be interesting to see when the S&P gets towards 6,740. Until then, it may be just kind of like free to slowly grind up and ride the trend higher. But once we get to the point of where we sold off from, that will be interesting to see the reaction from there. Because obviously, technically, that's supply. Come on, Bitcoin. Do you know what I miss? I miss the days of, when was it? Was it last week? It literally wasn't even that long ago. But this is what I miss. When we just pumped non-stop for like, what was it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 days, obviously. You had days like this where that candle wasn't really much, that candle wasn't much, that wasn't. So you had kind of 3 candles in there out of the 11. But for the majority of the time, this was just so fun, weren't it? It was literally just relentlessly up, 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 up. Just not giving any pullbacks or anything. So that candle has now been fully absorbed. And we are back into downside mode. Just a few days. Hourly chart is dangerously close to forming a head and shoulders. Is it? Oh, I'm guessing like a normal head and shoulders then, not an inverse. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we'll see what we get for the rest of the day. That's just kind of an excuse as a short squeeze, that, weren't it? That just come up basically just to clear out any immediate shorts. And we've just obviously dropped back down. So, yeah. I just had a notification then from Trust Wallet and I was thinking, oh, come on. I hope this is an airdrop from bloody that money that they was airdropping out to people. It wasn't. It was just a notification. I'm not in any trades. Still looking at my wins from Friday. Mate, Friday was brutal, weren't it? Just absolutely brutal. Purely carnage. Just pure carnage. Absolutely insane. But yeah, I mean, hopefully, the thing is, we just need some settlement here, don't we? If we get some settlement, then maybe it can build something. Let's see what happened yesterday. So yesterday, yeah, we obviously had this. We had this initial low, then we come up, then sold back down into US Open, then got the liquidation, and then moved up throughout the rest of the day. Now, if we see what's happening here, it's kind of like the opposite, isn't it? We've come up for the liquidation to the upside, and then are now continuing down. Downside mode, all in time. Did you check if the Stonksy X account is eligible for Monad airdrop? No, I haven't. No. Not yet, anyway. Not yet. I will do. I think I've seen a lot of people saying that airdrop's kind of weird because I've seen people saying like they've traded like massive volume on Hyperliquid and stuff and not eligible. And then you just get people like just randomly eligible for it that you wouldn't obviously consider. Is anyone in this chat eligible for the Monad airdrop? Let me see. I tried to check it before on the X, but it just wasn't loading because I was obviously checking a few of my wallets. What is like the actual like best eligibility for it? Does anyone know? I'm gonna see if I can check it again. I'm guessing obviously some activity on X is one. See, when you click that, it just doesn't do anything. That doesn't do anything either. Begin your claim journey. Yeah, it just doesn't do anything. I don't know whether maybe you need to do it on desktop or what for like the best result. But is anyone in this chat eligible for anything from Monad? I'd be interested to know. Like, I checked because I asked Grok. I said, like, what is the eligibility for it? And it was basically like if you've used any, I think like perp dexes and stuff. Because I think just using like standard Jupiter swap doesn't count. I don't think. There we go. So we're getting some more, a little bit of upside relief again. Obviously, super low time frame. But we've come down again. We're not actually taking that wick. So, yeah. Okay. Maybe this is like a good low time frame. If you see what's actually happened here around the, obviously we've got wicks either side, but around the actual candle closes on the 5 minute, we've kind of been building like a low time frame base for the past hour and a bit. Now, of course, these can lead to downside. You look at this one, built a base and then down. This could lead to further downside for sure. But we are getting some absorption of this downside towards 111. They had a big list of things: DeFi community, NFTs, pump fun. Yeah, good afternoon, Hugo. How are we doing, long or short? I mean, I would like to see some upside. I don't know whether we come down and liquidate some downside levels first. I mean, this is one that I've got my eye on, is this 111.062. This is on the 15, from the 15 minute I've pulled this from. If we see. So this wick from yesterday as we were going up. So I've got that mapped out as a potential liquidation, and then obviously you've got the downside one from yesterday is the next most likely one. Just you would think, unless we're going to come in and do some fuckery in here and not come and sweep this and leave people's bids unfilled, you would think maybe this whole void here just gets filled to come and fill in this wick and take it out. Maybe take out this as well. But yeah, that's what I'm thinking at the moment anyway. Apart from that, we're not really doing much, are we? I mean, you've obviously got gold and silver ripping 1.3 and 2.4% up each today. MicroStrategy is actually up. It's up just under 1%. Circle's up 1.8. If we go and have a look now, so Nvidia, that got a big sell-off. On open. So that's 1.34% up. You got Apple up just under 1%. Meta up 1.5. Microsoft, Amazon, and Tesla all up. Tesla's up 1%. Google up just over 0.5%. The Mags ETF up. Oh, look. Oh, BitDeer. Oh, this is cooking. This was one that I used to hold. I don't actually hold this anymore. But I would love to know what is the story around this today. Group is maintained. I don't know. There must be some news around it or something. But this is coming to, yeah, it's 2025 highs. Let me just message. I need to message SMFC. There you go. I've just messaged him to tell him, because I know that me and him bought this. He held on to his a lot longer than me. I sold mine, but this obviously had a huge run up last year, and yeah, it's up very nicely today. So that out of all the miners that I have on the list, that is the one that's doing exceptionally well. What else have we got? This continues to sell off, doesn't it? Metaplanet, yeah, Coinbase down a little bit from Wednesday. SBET, Tron back up a little bit. Gemini, I'm interested in this. I'm very interested in Gemini. It's getting hit a little bit more, so it's actually kind of out of what we was looking to be a range. Can move that up a little bit more. It went to new lows yesterday, so we'll continue to monitor that. Bitmine actually had a bit of a fake out, didn't it? So if you notice on Bitmine, we drew obviously the pennant, and it actually broke the pennant at first and then come down. So it's still actually respecting this pennant. You know, obviously we broke out and it was a bit of a fake out because it's come back down. And as you can see, look where it's found support. It's actually found support all along the diagonal. So we're coming to kind of the finality on this pennant now, I think. If you can even class it as a pennant, we did get the breakout, but maybe you just remove maybe you remove just the top one and just show that it's riding that trend. Anything else up big on the watch list? Not really. But that bit do you move? Whoo. Okay, yeah, we're cascading down on Bitcoin now. Let's get on it. Let's get on the chart. We're cascading down on Bitcoin now. So yeah, maybe we're going to come and liquidate the low and get it over with and send it up. Yeah, we're hitting the downside. It's motoring down fast. So we're now in that void. We're now in that void. Unless this candle closes with good absorption and we've actually just liquidated that low that I marked out. If we continue down, then we probably are going to come down for this low here. It's very weak Bitcoin, isn't it? Let's see how this 5-minute candle closes, because that might be quite key. It's looking like it's trying to get some absorption on it. But we do obviously have, you know, maybe the weekend lows to come and liquidate. Whoever voted down on the poll, by the way, congratulations, because you was right. Even though we got this initial pop up, we've motored down quite fast now. So this is quite interesting. Yeah, because we liquidated this low now from what we marked out quite deeply too. And we're seeing some absorption on this 15-minute candle as well as that 5. Now this 15-minute candle has still got 10 minutes to run. But it's showing signs of obviously some buying pressure coming in. So I think obviously ultimately from here we either carry on down and liquidate this low and maybe this low, or this is a liquidation and then we go up from here. Is what I'm looking at anyway, from what I'm seeing. So that's what we're coming into now. Did we have that? We had that 5-minute candle close then. Where did that close? So that kind of teetered on the point, didn't it? That 5-minute candle close then kind of teetered on the point of closing back above. I mean, it doesn't really matter too much. We have liquidated that low. So the key thing is obviously it goes back up for me. So let's see if it can. If it does, then that was obviously good planning and a good pinpoint for where we're going to get the liquidation into. And as you can see, come down right on the lower bound of the inner channel. You looking at the hourly chart? Not at the moment, no. No, that was the 15-minute chart I was looking at then. Good response, though. It's a good response so far. Full push back up on the S&P as well after that 5-minute downwards candle, which probably spurred on Bitcoin's dump. But that's had a full U-turn. But yeah, quite an interesting key point that we're at. Quite an interesting key point that we're at. The afternoon should be interesting. Hopefully, you guys have the have the time to be at the charts, or maybe pull up your phone every 5, 10, 15 minutes, because it should be quite a key afternoon. We're either going to go and liquidate the lows, which maybe takes us down towards 109,500, maybe 109, or we are maybe done liquidating and we move up from here. That's kind of where I'm at, because like I said, you know, below here, then you just kind of got this void down towards here. So hence why this was my key area of interest to be liquidated. We get further weakness in the price from here and start, you know, going towards 100 and below 111 down here like this, then yeah, I think we're coming down for this low here, liquidate here, maybe down to 109 something, maybe into 108. But why give people the prime entry? Why not just send it up for me, please and thank you? Please and thank you, send it up for me. But yeah, thank you to everyone that's watched. Make sure you are liked. If you haven't, give it a like. If you are new around here, subscribe. Of course, sign up to BLOFIN. Links in the description. Links pinned in the chat. And of course, I'll be back tomorrow. We will have SMFC on with me tomorrow, so it should be good. We'll be looking at some different stuff as well. Probably a lot of NFT stuff and other bits. So do join me for that. And yeah, hope you have a great afternoon. Hope you have a great rest of your day. Hopefully you're going to make some profits. And yeah, see you in the Stonksy Discord if you're in there. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Bye-bye.